On the night when I should have been celebrating our bond mating ceremony, my bonded mate, Alpha Ronan, publicly marked another female in front of the entire pack. He had not warned me about it. He simply stood on the high stone of the gathering circle and let his blood drip onto Mara's bare shoulder. Mara carries my heir, he said. She will be honored among us, treated as one who bears the future. The pack cheered. Some looked at me with either pity or surprise before looking away again, but I remained silent and calm. Later, I simply returned to our den, removed the ceremonial braid from my hair, and packed only what I could carry. He found me just as I was lacing my cloak. She is young, strong, and fertile, Ronan said, as if that explained everything. We had been together for so long, yet we don't have a pup. What else could I do? I did not say anything of which he thought was an agreement. Also, she will sleep in our house now. It is not safe for her to sleep outside, he said. Okay, maybe let her sleep in our room too. That would be much safer, I muttered. I could tell he did not like my answer. His frown deepened, but I did not care. He looked like he was about to say something else, but then his eyes landed on my clothes and the packed bag on the bed. Where are you going? He asked. I ignored him and walked past him. He grabbed my arm and growled. I didn't give you permission to leave. If I don't, where will she sleep? I said, mocking him. Or don't tell me you want me to sleep on the floor while you two are sleeping on the bed? Before Ronan could say anything, Mara entered. She was glowing with youth and power. Her eyes glanced at my bag. Please don't go, she said with a shaking voice and teary eyes. I can sleep on the floor. You don't have to accommodate me. I looked at her fake concern and scoffed, walking out of the house without another word. Mara seemed to want to chase after me, but Ronan blocked her and scoffed, still throwing a tantrum despite being an adult already. Let her go. She will soon realize that she was wrong. I walked into the trees. I would be lying if I said I was not angry. How could Ronan destroy our bond like that? Using another woman just to get a child? Did he think I was stupid? I tried to calm myself as the cold wind bit through my cloak. The moon was high when I reached the ridge where the cliffs dropped like fangs into the dark. There I found a small wolf pup, not a shifter but a real one. It was limping and weak, probably left behind by its mother. I knelt and picked it up gently. Were you left behind too? I asked. The pup whimpered but did not resist. I wrapped it in my cloak and carried it back to the shack I used to live in before I bonded with Ronan. The next day, someone knocked on the door. When I opened it, I found Ronan's mother, Rachel. Her face was filled with disapproval like always. She had never liked me, even before Ronan and I were bonded. Do you know what time it is? She asked in a sharp tone. Do you have to ask? Can't you read time yourself? I replied without fear. Rachel gritted her teeth and scoffed. I came to remind you that you need to cook breakfast and serve Ronan. You lazy woman. I laughed. Why should I serve him? Didn't he already choose a new mate? Can't she cook? She's pregnant. How could you expect her to work? Rachel said, glaring. Not that you would understand. You've never had a child. I clenched my fists. I did know. I had gotten pregnant once, but an accident had caused me to lose it. The healer said I might never carry a child again. I thought Ronan had accepted that fact and still loved me, but it seemed to be just wishful thinking. Before I could say anything, Mara appeared beside Rachel, looking pale and weak. She leaned into Rachel like a child needing comfort. Please don't be angry at her because of me. I can cook, she said, trying to sound pitiful. My feet were tired, and I had morning sickness. That's why I couldn't move well and woke up late. I'm sorry. I will cook. Mara looked at me with a soft smile. Bella, how about you? Is there anything you want to eat? I'll make it. Rachel turned to Mara with soft eyes, full of affection. No, you don't have to. You're pregnant. You need to rest. No, I can do it. I've done harder things. Cooking is easy, Mara insisted. This child, Rachel said with pride, then glared at me again. Look what you've done, making a pregnant woman work. Do you feel no shame? I rolled my eyes. She said she could do it. Then let her. Rachel pointed a finger at me, full of rage. You. Before she could finish, the pup I had rescued walked out from under the table. It wagged its tail and came to my feet. I bent down to pick it up, but Mara reached for it first. What a cute pup. She grabbed it quite roughly, and the pup whimpered loudly in pain. The pup reacted on instinct and bit Mara's hand. Mara screamed loudly. Just in time, Ronan arrived. Seeing Mara crying, he immediately pushed me away. Bella, what are you doing? What did you do to Mara? I hadn't done anything at all, but it had become second nature for Ronan to blame me. I hadn't even spoken yet when Mara stepped forward, clutching her bloodied hand. It's okay, it's my fault, she said, biting her lips slightly. I touched the pup without permission, so it bit me. The blood wasn't much, just a thin trail across her palm, but to Ronan it was too much. His eyes burned as he searched for the pup, which had been thrown aside and now lay disoriented in the corner. Without hesitation, he stepped forward and kicked it. The pup let out a sharp, painful yelp. I lunged and blocked him just as he raised his foot to strike again. What are you doing? I cried, standing protectively in front of the small creature. I'm doing what I should, Ronan snapped. This wild thing hurt Mara. What do you think would happen if it scratched her belly? What about the baby? The pup didn't do anything wrong, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Mara was the one mishandling it. Mara whimpered again, loud enough for everyone to hear. She held her hand dramatically, blood still dripping between her fingers. I thought it was cute, she said through a sob. I just wanted to pet it. Ronan's face twisted in rage. He shoved me aside hard enough to make his point. I stumbled but didn't back down. I covered the pup with my body as he raised his foot again. He paused, his legs suspended midair, not because of hesitation but because I was on the way. Did you forget it's forbidden to bring in beasts from outside? That thing's a wild wolf, he spat, eyeing the pup like it carried plague. Ronan, it's just a pup, I said firmly. It can't even harm anyone. Can't do anything harm. Rachel's voice cut through the room like a blade. Look at Mara's hand. What if that wild beast carried some disease? Ronan, get rid of that creature and punish this woman. She not only hurt Mara, she's been making her cook. What? I blinked in disbelief. I didn't. Will you allow her to order Mara like that, Ronan? She's the one carrying your child. Rachel looked at me from head to toe with a sneer. Instead of staying with this barren woman, you should take good care of someone who could give you a child. Ronan did not comment on Rachel's words. Instead, he focused on me. She's carrying our child, Bella. After birth, you will be its mother, Ronan said, holding Mara close in his embrace. Can't you accommodate her while she is carrying the baby? It would be for your own good. Ronan, what are you saying? Are you still choosing this woman? Rachel protested. Shut up, Ronan commanded without looking at Rachel, only focusing on me. Take care of Mara as to bond with the child. I saw Mara lower her head, her thoughts unreadable. I couldn't help but sneer at Ronan. Ronan, let's break the bond. Ronan froze. He was about to speak when Mara cried out, suddenly clutching her stomach. Ronan, I think my tummy hurts. Ronan immediately turned to her, panic flashing in his eyes. He supported her gently and examined her injured hand. Then he turned to me, and the look in his eyes held none of the affection he once had for me. Throw that thing away, he growled. Or else. He didn't finish, but I didn't need him to. The unspoken threat was etched in every line of his face. Rachel didn't even glance at me. She grabbed Ronan's arm, urging him to hurry. Don't risk the baby, she said worriedly. Even a small wound could cause complications. I watched as they walked away. The moment they vanished, I heard a weak whimper. My heart dropped. I rushed to the corner. The pup lay still, trembling, its breath shallow. Its ribs rose and fell in uneven rhythm. One leg was twisted at an odd angle. Don't worry, I whispered, gently cradling it in my arms. I'll take care of you. I hurried to the healer's hut. Thankfully, the old healer was available and examined the pup without comment. He simply nodded and began gathering herbs to treat the injuries. As I waited, the door creaked open. There you are, Ronan said behind me. I turned slowly, face blank. He didn't say a word. He grabbed my arm and pulled me away from the pup. Where are you taking me? I demanded, struggling. He dragged me to another room in the healer's hut and shoved me into a chair. Draw her blood, he ordered. What? I looked up, stunned. What did I do? Rachel entered the room and immediately pointed at me like I was some cursed thing. Because of you, Mara's bleeding. She went into shock. She needs blood to replenish what was lost, Rachel said, glaring at me before turning to Ronan. Make sure you take enough. We can't risk the baby's life. She left before I could reply, her voice disappearing into the other room. The healer looked at Ronan for confirmation. He nodded, and the healer began his work and prepared the scary-looking blood collector. I didn't struggle, but I stared Ronan down. Mara's in shock from the bite, Ronan said, trying to soften his tone. Since you'll be the child's mother. I laughed coldly. Does it have to be my blood? Then why don't you give yours? Isn't it your child? Ronan frowned. Bella, don't be childish and hurry. Give your blood. It's not time to quarrel. Then, I glared at him. I'll give my blood, but we'll break our bond. You choose.